You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only financial news and talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, first-timer on the radio broadcast, Rob Lubnau, Lubnau Gonzalez Insurance Agency. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Celebrating today. Now, we didn't even have any time to plan for our celebration of the day. And you know that there's always a good celebration every single day. So I looked at the celebrations this morning, and I didn't look at it very early. We didn't look at it prior to planning the guest of the day. But today, did you know, Rob, I don't know if you know this, today is National Life Insurance Day.
I was unaware of that.
There we go, life insurance. So we've got an insurance man here, but National Life Insurance Day. Now, to me, you know something, I don't know about life insurance, but having beaten anorexia, once again, I will go with the food of the day, National Truffle Day. You gotta love that. I'm looking at this picture of these truffles right here. Deliciously sweet chocolate truffles. Yes, indeed. That could probably get me in a little bit of trouble right there. My doctor probably wouldn't like it. But hey, you know something? I don't have to tell him, do I? It's just a little secret between you and I. Check out the markets this morning. Dow Jones Industrial Average down again, 76 points. NASDAQ, the S&P down 9. NASDAQ down 13. Yeah, it hasn't been a pretty week this week. I think most of the week we've been looking at, it's been the markets have been zigzagging. The NASDAQ has been good most of the week. Obviously, did you see what's going on with Apple? Holy cow, the buyback of $100 billion in stock, I think was the number I saw this morning, $100 billion. I mean, that's more than some countries. That could almost get California out of debt, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Taxifornia, as I like to put it. Let's see what else is going on in the markets. We are looking, obviously, we always watch the 10-year Treasury. That one, well, we'll get into more of that in a little bit, but it hasn't done a whole lot today. It's fairly flat this morning. So what else is going on in the news? What should we be knowing? What should we be talking about today? I'm not going to get into any more. You got to love this stuff. It keeps on giving. Robert Mueller questions. How did those questions get out? Who leaked the questions that he has in mind for the President of the United States? Now, here's the issue, and I get this all the time on our social media channels. They hope that the President will answer all of those questions. My question would be, why should he? Right? Think about this, and there was not one question. The Mueller investigation all started out dealing with collusion with Russia. And they start asking questions about what was the president thinking when he was doing an interview with Maria Bartiromo? Really?
I got a bad feeling about this.
What was he thinking when he fired Jim Comey? What was he thinking when he went out to dinner? Come on, really? I mean, let's get serious. Is that what the biggest things that we have to worry about in our country right now? What was the president thinking? What was he tweeting? Is there a law against tweeting? I think all we're looking here is a big old bear trap. And you know something, I'm one that I heard this morning there was rumors out there that the questions might not have been leaked from the special counsel's office, that they could have been leaked from the president's legal team. Why? Well, just so that the public realizes what a witch hunt this is, what they're doing here, what they're up to. Just a thought. 4 questions, exhaustive array of subjects, asking the president what he knew, but he doesn't talk hardly anything about Russia, and certainly doesn't talk about the attorney that the president's kids met with, yet was dealing with the Fusion GPS hours before that meeting. Really? Is that what this is all about? Amazing. Department of Justice also filed criminal charges against 11 people believed to be part of a caravan of Central American migrants seeking asylum in the U.S. DOJ said in a press release shared by ABC News that the 11 people would face charges for criminal illegal entry after Border Patrol agents found them in locations 2 to 4 miles west of the designated border crossing in San Ysidro. United States will not stand by as our immigration laws are ignored, according to the Attorney General. Thank goodness. Right? We've got laws of this nation. How do we just say, this is a law I want to enforce and this is a law I don't want to enforce? If the Congress doesn't want these laws to be on the books, do something, right? Pass a new law, revoke an old law, send it to the president, let the people hear what's going on. We'll have an opportunity, if we like it, to say we like it in November. It will have an opportunity just as much in November to say, hey, we did not like it. Get rid of some of the bums. Speaking of bums, did you hear the comments of the governor of the state of confusion when questioned about Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence? The governor of the state of confusion comes out and says, Mike Pence is the problem in our country today. Really? Now, I can understand that Moonbeam doesn't like the vice president, doesn't like the president, but something, at least show some respect. One is a governor, one is a president or vice president. If you don't like the ideas, we obviously know the state of confusion. We understand the concepts here. Everything that the federal government does, the state of confusion says, I think we'll file a new lawsuit. Unbelievable. And we don't understand that here in state of confusion, right? Because our justice system is so wonderful and so efficient, right? The Ninth Circuit right here in California overturned 80% of the time. Makes a lot of sense. Another poll out. The Democrats have lost support of millennial voters by nearly 10%. The Democrats lost the support of the millennial voters by nearly 10% margin as midterm elections loom. That's according to Reuters Ipsos National Opinion Poll. The poll surveyed 16,000 registered voters ages 18 to 34 and found that participant support for Democrats over Republicans in congressional races dipped to 46% overall. I wonder, maybe they're starting to get some of those crumbs that Nancy Pelosi's talked about. Could that be it? They're talking about the crumbs, the $1,000. I love the vice president's concept and comments about what his family referred to as $1,000 check or extra money in their paychecks. Did you hear that one? Yeah, he came out and said, well, in our family, as we grew up on a budget, we still live on a budget. You get an extra $1,000, you call that Christmas. Now, I would call it Hanukkah, but you can call it whatever you like. I don't know anybody that's going to call it crumbs. Just a thought for you. Moving right along. Again, the fake news media talking about how President Trump is in such a big argument with his chief of staff, John Kelly. Well, if that was true, how do you get yesterday's rumor that he's getting ready to get rid of John Kelly with today's rumor that he might be looking at John Kelly taking over the Department of Veterans Affairs after the ambush of Rear Admiral Ronnie Jackson? Think about that concept. So it must be really, really a big riff between the president and General Kelly. Just a thought right there, moving right along. White House correspondents thinking about changing their dinner for the Trump era.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Well, I can tell you this. If I was anybody in the Trump administration, there's no way in the world you would catch me going to the White House Correspondents Association's dinner, at least for the foreseeable future and at least while the current leadership is there. Did you watch any of the lowlights from that event from Saturday night? First off, the actors certainly weren't funny. And the comedians weren't funny. The jokes, I'm all for a good ribbing. I have a good time with that. But when you're insulting other people, is that really what you're looking for in that kind of an environment? Speaking of insulting, actor Robert De Niro in the news again. Talk about another lunatic. Unbelievable. Referring to, I'll just give you the quote. I can't say it on radio, so don't worry, John. I'm not going to use the exact words. Actor Robert De Niro calls Republicans pretty effing stupid, unquote. Saturday, Robert De Niro took the stage on the closing night of the Tribeca Film Festival and blasted Trump yet again. While that might not come as a surprise, De Niro also ripped Republicans. I wonder if any of them are going to go to any of his movies. You won't catch me in one of them, because obviously I am one of those that is effing stupid, according to Mr. De Niro. Amazing. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to talk insurance. Should you be looking for an insurance agent or broker versus a policy? We're going to talk about that. The Just In data says May is the best month to sell your house. We'll chat about that one. Steps you can take to prevent identity theft. And we've got the Mortgage Minute, all of that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Good morning, Gene. Good morning, Delcy. Andy, good to see you. Glad to have you on yesterday. I don't know if you caught the replay. Great show you did with us yesterday. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Check Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs, the products. How about an opportunity for you to save $10,000 to $50,000 potentially on the purchase of your new home? Well, that's the Fast Pass loan approval that helps with that. Give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with one of our friends over there at Gold Star to see how they might be able to help you and your family. So we're looking at the markets as I do all the time. I shared this with you in the opening segment. So we look at the 10-year Treasury right now, fairly flat for the day. In fact, it is absolutely flat. No up, no down on the interest of that 10-year Treasury. However, the 30-year fixed rate loan down 6 basis points. That means interest rates are going, now if you remember, this is a quiz for you. We've talked about it before. Interest rates are up whenever the bond is down. Yeah, so that's the story right there. So why is it happening really is more important to you, isn't it, to the why of it? Well, we know that the Federal Reserve is going to be chatting a little bit later today. We don't expect a whole lot out of their commentary, but it's going to come out at 11 o'clock our time with their statement and decision from the two-day meeting. The ADP employment report showed that there were 204,000 jobs created in the month of April, higher than the expectation of 190,000. 6th month in a row of 200,000 plus job gains. March reading of 241,000 was revised lower by 13,000, so it's still 228,000. Very, very strong number. Job gains were broad-based with 160,000 jobs created in the services sector and a solid 44,000 jobs created in the goods-producing sector. Goods-producing means higher wage jobs, right? That's going to be manufacturing and construction. Jobs consistently over 200,000. Does the unemployment rate begin to drop? Well, maybe, maybe not. Unemployment rate has remained stable at 4.1% over the past 5 months. Interesting indicator that we look at from time to time is how the unemployment rate correlates with recessions. I put a chart up on that one earlier today. So here's the concept. The unemployment rate basically stays the same as long as we continue getting more people getting off of the sidelines and getting back to work. So when we keep getting those people coming back, it's a good thing for our economy. That is the mortgage. That's why I said to you yesterday that interest rates are not going to be the driver of the housing market. The jobs market is the driver. As people continue to go back to work and get better jobs, push the wages up, we're going to see more and more movement, people moving from city to city, getting that bigger house, right-sizing, downsizing, and we'll see more and more housing demand. As the supply stays low, though, the prices continue to go up. Supply and demand, we talk about it. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. So let's chat a little bit about insurance. And we talk about this on a regular basis. I've shared these things with you. Obviously, if you're alive, you probably need insurance. There's not a whole lot of people that are living that I know of that don't need insurance of one sort or another. Unfortunately, in our society, the media has got to the point, and I used to have an insurance license, full disclosure. I do not any longer. When I worked at Merrill Lynch, I did have an insurance license. And a lot of people have a misconception of what insurance is. So let's first off, before I get into the conversation with Rob, is I'm going to just share with you really what insurance is as opposed to what the media wants you to believe. So insurance is basically the sale of your own risk. You have risk in your life, right? So contemplate this, think about this part of it. Insurance is nothing more than you saying to an insurance company, I don't want to take this risk. You take it from me, and for a fee, they're willing to do that. Do they have an obligation to do it? No. It's a service. That's the business they're in, is in buying or selling the assignment or accepting that assignment for a fee. They have the right to say, well, I'm willing to accept this, this, and this, but not that. Or I don't, it's not like they have to cover something. Federal government and the media want you to believe that it's a mandate that they have to cover. That's not it at all. So let's chat a little bit about insurance with our friend Rob Lubnau. Did I get anything wrong there, Rob?
Nope, you got it perfect.
Okay, so it's not really like it's the insurance company is not forced to say, I'm going to do this or that.
No, they're not at all. Matter of fact, they write contracts to specify what they're going to do.
And it makes sense because, right, and again, obviously a lot of people have a problem with that. They don't realize the idea that the contract really drives the whole thing.
It does, very much so.
And a lot of people don't even read the contract.
Which is scary because it is a contract. You would, if you bought a business, you'd sign a contract buying the business. When you buy insurance, you'd think that you'd want to read the contract on insurance, but I'd say about 95% of the people do not read their contracts.
Well, a lot of it, I might throw this out for your consideration, is a lot of people, the contracts are written by a bunch of lawyers, and most of us are not lawyers.
True.
So trying to understand it becomes pretty challenging.
Which is very true, and which is why you should look at choosing a broker that has actually read the contracts.
Well, isn't that a novel thought?
Yeah, very much so.
Right, and the lady that introduced us together, Linda Eisenman, she talks about that all the time when it comes to the real estate contract.
Yes.
Right, people don't read that either. So I think one of the questions, and I kind of shared this as a highlight of our title of our broadcast today, should you be looking for a policy or a broker agent? Which is more important?
I believe it's more important to have a broker agent. You should shop for a broker agent. The media, the industry wants you to buy insurance off price, but it is not a price product. It is not a commodity. You want to buy a contract that is secure. And the only way you as a consumer can be sure that you're getting a good contract is hope that your broker understands those contracts and is offering the right contract to you.
So how do I know, I'm a simple guy. How do I know what to ask or the questions to find out if I've got a broker that knows what they're doing?
The very first question I would ask when you go to meet your broker or you're talking to your broker, or if you have a broker, is, have you read your insurance contracts? It's not an easy read. Like you said, it's a very difficult read, and I have made it a point to block off time, prepare. Anytime we come out with a new product, to sit and read the contract. It is not easy, but I can tell my clients that I've read their contracts. I understand them.
So one of the issues that I've had, and I've had it's been documented on our broadcast, so I'm not talking out of school here, is I've had my run-ins with insurance carriers.
Yes.
And most of the time, the insurance carriers nowadays, from what I hear, if you have a claim or you think you have a claim, they don't even want you to talk to your agent or broker. They want you to call their 800 number so they can send out their preferred carrier.
And that's a mistake. You should talk to your agent. A good agent will advise you, be able to advise you, should we file this claim or not? And many times what happens if you call the 1-800 number, they're obligated. If you're calling the insurance company directly, they're obligated, especially in the state of California, to file a claim. They're obligated to do it. If you talk to a broker and you say, hey, this is what happened, I have a situation, what do you recommend? A good broker that has read their contract will be able to advise you, yeah, maybe we should. And an example is, I had an insured just a couple weeks ago, has a rental property, their toilet overflowed upstairs. He calls me, he says, hey Rob, I've got a situation, this is what happened, should I file a claim? And I said, well, not knowing enough, why don't we take some steps to see if you should file a claim? And we went through a process of steps, and it turned out we did file the claim, which to his benefit, we went out and were able to save him a lot of money in the long run over a situation that could have turned, that if he would have let it go, could have turned sour on him.
Especially when you're talking about a toilet overflowing. I mean,
Exactly.
No pun intended right there at all. Interesting information. We're going to talk more with Rob Lubnau when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We're going to also get into some of our real-time real estate commentary. Data says May is the best month to sell your house. Steps you can take to prevent identity theft. All that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, let's say you can afford a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment being brought to you today by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Data's just in, and it says May is the best month to sell your home, according to a newly released study by Adam Data Solutions. Selling your home in the month of May will net you an average of 5.9% above estimated market value for your home. For the study, Adam performed an analysis of 14.7 million home sales from 2011 to 2017 and found the average seller premium achieved for each month of the year. I put a chart on our social media this morning showing what the premium was for each month. May 5.9%, June 5.8%. Interesting information there. The top 5 days to sell. Think about this. They really broke this down. Top 5 days to sell. June 28th, 9.1% above market value. February 15th, 9% above market value. May 31st, 8.3% above market. May 29th, 8.2%. June 21st, 8.1%. You can tell I'm a numbers nerd, right? Should come as no surprise that May and June dominate the top months to sell, and that 4 of the top 5 days to sell fall in those 2 months. The second quarter of the year, April, May, and June, easy for me to say, is referred to as the spring buyer's season, when competition is fierce to find a dream home. That's why we have Nest, N-E-S-T, at 79564. Just text it to get that dream home before someone else does. You'll get a text message as soon as the new property goes on the market. The whole report is on our social media this morning, and let's get together and chat to discuss market conditions in your area and get the most exposure to the buyers who are ready and willing to buy. I shared this with some real estate professionals this last couple of weeks. Just some of their listings, if you have the right methodology of promoting properties. How about this one? One property that we promoted, if you're thinking about selling, and I'm not a real estate agent, I have a license, I don't do it, but one property had over 1,035 viewings in a 5-day period just by targeted advertising on Facebook. 1,035 viewings. What do you think that homeowner had to say when they see that many people coming out to check out their property? If it was priced aggressively, I promise you it sold, and it sold more than the list price. Just saying, that's the real-time real estate segment. Getting back to our conversation, talking insurance with Rob Lubnau. Great information if you missed the last segment. I always loved when we get into some of these conversations and have an opportunity to get different real-life stories, right? That's the whole idea, because it's, there's nothing really new in this world, Rob, no. Right? I mean, I'm sure after doing it as many years as you're doing it, you've probably got a million stories, and some of them you probably even forgot.
I do have a million stories. I used to say I've seen it all, but you know what, Ron? The more I do this business, the more I'm shocked.
I would imagine. Yeah. So we talked in the last segment about that you're probably better off looking for an agent or broker over a policy. But what about the difference between policies and the companies that provide them?
Well, that's a good question. The companies offer a really, depending on the company, what kind of contract you're going to get. And how do you know you're going to get a good contract without reading each policy, right?
Right.
So who's as a consumer, are you going to sit there and go company A, company B, company C, and read the contract before you buy the policy?
Heck, no, they don't even send them to you, do they?
No, they don't, not till you purchase a policy. So who do you have to rely on? You can dial a 1-800 number and buy insurance 1-800 or 1-800 or www cheap insurance and buy a policy. But really, what are you getting? You don't know. And what it takes is a professional that has read the contract, understands the contract, and represents the needs. Needs are different for everybody. The one house that you insure in, say, Anaheim may be different than that house in Irvine, and you need to have a contract that represents that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Or even the family. A larger family may need a different kind of protection than a husband and wife that are just maybe retiring. You need to understand those contracts.
So based on what you're saying there, if you have a property in Anaheim that may need a different contract than in Irvine, what would happen if I'm an investor and, maybe I live in Anaheim, but I've got a rental property in Irvine? Do I need two different companies, two different contracts?
Not necessarily. A company may have different contracts within the company to represent it. What happens is you go to why I say most brokers have not read their contracts or understand them. You may go to somebody, he may just peddle a policy. You don't want a policy peddler. You want someone that understands coverage. And that's really the key to why you should shop for a broker. It comes to another thing is, You know, we buy insurance for fires or auto accidents, but I can tell you, Ron, the worst disaster that happens is a lawsuit. You can get in an auto accident. Your car can get fixed. Your house may burn down. It's going to get rebuilt if you have an insurance policy. If you have the right policy, it's going to get rebuilt quickly. But really, if you get in a lawsuit, that can be endless. Think about it. Attorneys can suck people dry.
And they do usually.
Yeah, they do, yeah. So what I try to tell people is, as property insurance, insuring against a fire, an auto accident, and so forth is important, it's more important to know that you have, especially in Southern California where values of homes are so high, that you have enough liability coverage to protect you from a lawsuit.
Interesting. Okay, so the lawsuit is really the more important issue. You can quantify, the replacement cost of a house.
Yes, you can.
Right? Hard to quantify the lawsuit.
Very much so. It's amazing. I talk to people that have insurance, they get in an auto accident, and their limits are very low. And the insurance company will write a check for the limit of the auto accident, hand it to the insured, and say, good luck. We met our contract obligation. It went back to the contract. That's the limit you chose. Whereas if they get in an auto accident and they carry high liabilities on their auto and home and get an umbrella policy, they know that does an insurance company want to write a check for $1 million?
Now, wait a second. I'm a simple guy here, so you got into something, an umbrella policy?
Umbrella policy, excess liability that sits above your auto policy and your homeowner's policy. My belief is, and as important as property insurance is, we all need to have property insurance, but we really need to have liability insurance. If you're a homeowner in California and you don't carry enough liability on your auto or home, and you're involved in an accident or an unintentional event where there's a lawsuit involved, the person that you injured is going to own your home.
Wow.
Think of it that way.
Wow.
It very well can happen.
So let me ask you this then. Can I get a lower liability limit on my car and a lower liability on my house, and then purchase an umbrella policy so that I'm encumbered or covered everywhere?
No, well, you want to carry high on your auto, high on your home, and then you want to carry a higher umbrella. You can't go lower. You really want to go higher. But what you could do is maybe say, I'm going to carry a higher deductible on my property insurance and offset that savings to purchase a higher liability, which honestly is very inexpensive. Liability is very inexpensive. But right now in the insurance industry, the number 2 claim behind a water claim in the insurance industry is a liability claim. Insurance companies are paying out liability claims left and right. Be it a dog bite, be it a small auto accident that you don't think anything serious happened. Turns out for every $1 they are taking in premium, insurance companies are paying $1.10 out in liability claims.
That seems pretty fascinating to me, because all the big buildings around the world are all owned by insurance companies. So how are they paying out more in claims than they are in premiums collected?
Right now it's getting into the reserves, and some insurance companies in the state of California are in bad situations.
Wow. So in addition to everything else, you have to really be looking at the solvency of the insurance company.
You do. Is an insurance company A-rated or better?
Okay.
Yes.
And one of the issues that I've learned over my years of chatting with insurance folks on the broadcasts here, I'm going to share this one with you also. It's just a thought for you, because Rob kind of alluded to this, is the idea of a higher deductible. Now, we know that you're not saving. That's just a given, because we can look at the statistics saying that you're not saving money as far as in your savings account. You're going to save money, and I'm going to throw this at Rob in a minute here. But here's the concept. If you will take and ask your insurance broker, insurance agent, call Rob, call me, I'll put you in touch with him, and find out what the difference is between the deductible you have today and maybe a higher deductible policy. And I know a lot of us look at it and say, okay, something, I'm going to get a $500 deductible because I can handle that, right? But what is the difference between a $500 deductible policy and a $2,500 deductible or a $5,000 deductible policy? Okay, now you understand what that premium difference is? How do you cover that, though, in the event of a issue? And how often are you going to have an issue? Many of us don't have a lot of issues or claims that we're going to be filing. So what's the strategy? Take the difference in money between the two policies and put that into a Roth IRA. Think about that concept. Let the money just continue and keep putting it in there every single year. You got to be disciplined. Put that money in there every single year, and then if you have a claim down the road, you can take that money out because it's already post-tax. There's no penalty. Talk to your CPA. There's no penalty if you take your original money out. Just a thought for you. Is there a significant difference between, say, a $500 deductible and a $5,000 deductible?
There is a significant difference, and I like your point of putting it in Roth IRA, Ron. That's a fantastic point. Save the money, put it in an IRA, and use it for those situations.
Right. And if you're lucky enough that you don't have the issue, and the last statistics I had, and you would know these things better than me maybe, was that you have a claim every 12 years.
12 to 14 years is the average claim.
Right, so if you can save $500 a year for 12 years, you've just put $6,000 in your Roth IRA.
Yes.
Plus the growth period over that time.
Exactly.
And hopefully you don't have the claim, and then you can just use that money for something else.
Exactly.
Great information. We're going to continue our conversation with Rob Lubnau and Lubnau Gonzalez Insurance Agency. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, steps you can take to prevent identity theft. That's another good topic that's up all the time. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Caprice, good to see you back with us. We're glad to be back on air as well. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It's wrong. I know it. You should if you've been listening to Ron Siegel Radio. They're all wrong. That's why we know yours is as well. I'm not saying the scores they are what they are. They don't have any bearing on the fact of whether it's wrong or not. But I've seen an 830 FICO score that's had lots and lots of errors on the report, and an 850 is perfect. So think about that concept. Your Credit Matters, they have the solutions, or Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. Steps you can take to prevent identity theft. Number one, be stingy with your Social Security number. Try and find out why somebody really wants your Social Security number if you're going to give it out to them. People who ever need, the only people who really need your Social Security number, government agencies, credit bureaus, lenders, employers, banks. Don't give your Social Security number to anybody else. Don't carry your card with you on a daily basis. You can lose it. It can get stolen. Keep a close eye on your credit. Checking your credit at regular intervals is the best way to make sure your credit doesn't get stolen. Very least, take advantage of your free yearly credit report. Don't let your mail linger in the mailbox. I hear people say, well, I don't want to get my statement online. Well, why not? You can leave it in the mailbox where no one's watching it at all. Pay attention to that mail. Lock down your Wi-Fi usage. At home, don't leave your Wi-Fi network open for anyone. Put a password on there. Get some IT person, maybe it's your kids, to come out there and put two Wi-Fis there. Use one for your family and then have another one that's for guests that come to your house. Right? It doesn't cost anything extra on your router. Just have two different Wi-Fi is there. Be careful when joining public Wi-Fi networks. Use your phone's security features. Invest in a shredder. Or our friend Gene, he was on the broadcast a little earlier. He has a shredding company, so make sure you're shredding your documents. Read your credit card statements. Update your passwords. Don't leave it as password. I know that one already. It's the number one password in America. Password, really? Number 2 is 123456. Use caution when shopping online. Be careful who you share your information with. Protect your devices. Leave the extra credit cards at home. And on the back of the card, I love this one where they used to have it where you had to sign the back of your card. I don't think they're doing that much anymore. Right on there, please see ID. Why would you want to show somebody your signature so that they can copy it and steal your identity? Just a few thoughts for you. Your Credit Matters, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. Continuing our conversation this morning, Rob Lubnau, Lubnau Gonzalez Insurance Agency, chatting about insurance for you. So, Rob, good insurance policies, what home policies, is there any such a thing? I mean, a lot of us think about insurance as a necessary evil.
It can be a necessary evil, but it can be a necessary evil that protects you for the rest of your life. Like I said, which would you rather do? Pay an insurance company or pay your money to an attorney or a lawsuit going on, which is going to cost you a lot more in the long run?
And I would suggest that if I have to hire an attorney for some sort of a lawsuit, it's going to cost me a whole bunch of money.
It is. An umbrella.
An insurance company, they probably already have attorneys.
They do. And think about this. This is what I tell people. You know, an umbrella, $1 million, can run $300 a year. Nothing. It costs nothing, in my view. Less than $30 a month. But don't you think an insurance company is not going to want to pay out $1 million? And they're going to get their best attorneys to fight on your behalf? And that's the whole purpose of liability insurance. If you don't have it, and you have a judgment against you, they'll garnish your wages, put a lien against your home, and trust me, it's going to be a lot more than $30 a month.
Interesting.
And your chances of being in a lawsuit are a lot greater than your home burning down.
So do I have to worry? Does my neighborhood affect my insurance rates?
It can affect your rates, and that's more on the property side of things. There is some issue on liability. I don't want to be derogatory towards parts of Los Angeles, but you live in parts of Los Angeles, there's a higher crime than, say, Orange County, higher crime incidents. But in Orange County, let's say you live in Anaheim Hills, you could have a small house in Anaheim Hills and pay a lot more insurance than you do at that same house if you were to put it in downtown Irvine.
Really?
Yes, and the reason is, think about the wildfires that just happened this last year.
Okay.
You have a higher risk of homes burning up in Anaheim Hills than you do in the middle of Tustin or the middle of Santa Ana. So there is some factors that factor into that. As far as neighborhood safety, they're probably equal. But as far as risk of wildfire or the age of a home, an age of a home will affect the insurance rates too, because an older home will tend to have more problems with it.
And that kind of goes back to this same concept that we spoke about earlier in the broadcast, is the insurance company is really there just to take over my risk.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So, and I know that I've got more risk if I live in South Central Los Angeles. I just watch the news, right? I don't have to be that smart. Right? If I live in South Central Los Angeles, there's more risk involved, or potential risk, than if I live in Irvine or some other city that's got a very, very low crime rate.
Yeah, and a good example is, well, aside from crime rate, let's pick on Laguna Niguel right now. Laguna Niguel, great city. Love the city. I actually live in South Orange County. But the issue is there's insurance companies that won't insure homes in Laguna Niguel now due to water claims, because there's an additive added to the water that will eat through copper. It's been said insurance companies have sued the local water districts and lost over it. But there are insurance companies that just refuse to insure. Well, my wife and I remodeled, and knowing what happens, we decided if we're going to remodel, we're going to put hardwood floors in our house. At the same time, we're going to open our walls and put PEX plumbing in. And the reason we did that is to mitigate the risk.
So now if I call you as my insurance agent and I tell you that I've done that, is it going to affect my insurance rate?
It very well could. It could lower it, because if you can show proof that you did that, the insurance company is going to say, we'll give you a better rate because your chances of a water leak are less.
Interesting. So then when I go to resell, I have to make sure, if I'm the buyer, that I get that proof so I can document these issues.
Yeah, and you'd want that, exactly. And I think in full disclosure on selling real estate, it should be in there.
Interesting, because I know you hear about that more and more, especially as our communities get older and older. I'm constantly, maybe it's because I had so many water issues in a property of mine, I hear this more and more, right? It's that, it happens to you, so you're more in tune to it.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So the issue could be that, maybe that's the case, but you hear a lot about that, and I think one of the things I professed, and again, I've told people many, many times, I don't even know what end of a screwdriver to use. But just from a concept standpoint, when we had the water rationing, or the idea of water shortages, and you can only water your lawn, on odd days or whatever.
Yes.
Well, we were putting more pressure on the pipes holding the water when we weren't using it.
Yeah.
And doesn't that seem logical that it's going to cause problems with the pipes?
You would think so, yes.
Right? So, I spoke with the fire chief about it, and I said, if we're not watering and we're killing off some of our plants, isn't that going to make it more susceptible to wildfires? Right? It just seems these are issues, they're unintended consequences of some of the things that go on in Southern California.
Exactly.
Interesting. Anything else we need to really be watching for, Rob? We just have about 2 minutes left to really focus on what do I need to know in dealing with repairs, dealing with insurance, trying to mitigate my losses and my premiums?
Just be smart about it. Think about your home. Think about your prized possession. If you do something to it, document it. If you change something in your house, document it. Give it to the insurance company. Let them know. The other thing is, look at your home as your largest asset. Protect it as such. Yeah, you want to protect it against fire, wind, all that, but really you want to protect it against a lawsuit, because attorneys in Southern California, or California in general, are smart, and they know that if you have a home, you have a nice asset, and if involved in an incident where you'll get sued, you could lose that home. So transfer the risk to an insurance company.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, mitigate it.
Yeah, and here's the issue. A lot of people don't talk about that. That, you know, we use our cell phones for everything nowadays. Why aren't you walking around your house with it? Turn it to video and just walk around your house and get pictures of everything so that your insurance company knows, hey, there's no question that I had a big screen TV on that wall because here's pictures of it before the fire.
Exactly. And if you have jewelry, let your insurance professional know you have jewelry. The worst thing that can happen is you lose your ring and you didn't tell your insurance professional. We're not mind readers, so we can't read your mind if you have a lot of jewelry to insure it properly.
So I got a real quick question for you. We don't have a lot of time. How often should I be sitting down with my insurance agent to update my holdings, my policies?
Once a year.
Once a year.
It's like going to a doctor.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Caprice, if you want to meet Rob, give me a call, 800-306-1990. I've got his information. We'll put it right there on the website as well. And Linda, thanks for the introduction. I really appreciate that as well. And make sure you set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember my mantra, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.